Hello, and good day. My name is Alexander Courts, and I am a preacher of First Baptist Church in Covington, Ohio. And I'm here today to teach about how God must be number one in our lives. Now, how can we make God number one? And how does that affect our lives? For God to be priority in our lives, we must do those things that please Him and those things that He wants to be done. God teaches us throughout His Word that we are supposed to follow His will, and that it must take precedence over everything. In Luke chapter 9, verse 23, He says, "And He said to them all, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross daily, and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away?" God's desires must take priority over our own. We cannot put our own will above God. How can we expect to be blessed if our will takes priority? In Matthew chapter 26, starting in verse 38, it says, "Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me. And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto his disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? How often are we finding ourselves not being able to just stay awake for 1 hour, not going to church, not taking the time to pray? God must be priority in all the things that we do. It can't just be in the 1 or 2 hours that we're at church. It has to be in every daily moment of our life. How often are we catching ourselves falling asleep, thinking that our time is more important than God's? In 1 Timothy chapter 4, starting in verse 12, it says, Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers, in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on of the hands of the passerby. Meditate upon these things. Give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself, and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. God has told us that we must study His Word, that we may show ourselves approved. God desires us to be knowledgeable in His Word. That way we can be understanding of what He wants us to do. Now, one aspect of this is in Matthew chapter 10, starting in verse 34. It says, Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Also in Luke chapter 14, verse 26, If any man come to me, and hate not his father and mother, and wife and children, and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. God has told us that not only our will, our family, everything around us, He must take precedence. God must be priority in our lives. Thank you for listening in. This is Alexander Courts of First Baptist Church, and I will see you next time.